Hi everybody. For our second project of the year, we're going to be working on Alexander Calder. We're going to be doing two different projects. One of the projects is going to be for kindergarten through the third grade, and the second project is going to be through the fourth through sixth grade. The kindergarten through third grade will be working on self-portraits or animal design. One of Calder's works was using wire to make faces and kind of make his portraits look 3D. So what he did is he took continual pieces of wire and bent them into either a portrait or an animal because he was huge into the circus. So what we're going to be doing is focusing mainly on the self-portrait piece, and rather than using wire, we're going to be using pipe cleaners. So what the kids are going to get is about 9 pipe cleaners. There's different sizes. There's a couple different shapes, or colors, I mean. And what they're going to do is, to make like their own head, they're going to take the pipe cleaner and they put the pieces together and twist them into, so you can make it one shape. And then from there, you can bend it into a head. When I did my sample, I just used 2, twisted them together like so, and then now I have my head shape. And from there you can add pipe cleaners, but you only want to use the 9 that you're given, and you can stretch them across like you're making a self-portrait using one continual line. So from there they can add it in, and then what we'll do is once they have their head shaped, they can lay it on the cardstock that they're going to be given, and they can form it, and then they're going to staple it down. So here's my second grade samplers. Kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle, but it was supposed to be him. But if you notice, he made his head, and then he made his hair, and then he made his eyes and his mouth. So once you have everything done, you will go ahead and have them, an adult can walk around with the stapler and staple here and here, and then you can also add an extra staple to the bottom, and then that way the project will stay on the paper. Have them spend some time using the colors, bending it, shaping it. They can make ears, they can make all different kinds of things on it. So I mean, they're not just limited to it. It actually takes a little bit of time. It took almost 30 minutes for the second graders we had to do it, figure out, like, get used to the wires. But if you show them how to twist them up and make one continual piece, if you twist it 3 or 4 times, it'll hold pretty steady. And then that way, once you put it on the paper, the staple, you just staple it down and you can barely even see the staples on it. So from there, you're going to keep 2 of the best projects, or somebody's that needs it, and make sure that you put it on the sample cart. But all the supplies, we kept the supplies, and they're labeled. There's K through 3, and then there's 4 through 6, each on their own separate shelf. So the kids can either use the white cardstock or the black cardstock that's on there. There is a nice, easy hand stapler for somebody to come through at the end and staple them all down. Before they start, just make sure that they write their name on the back of the cardstock, because they don't want to mess with it too much once they're doing the project. So again, here's the final product. And then, I mean, this is a self-portrait through the eyes of a second grader, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. There's also some samples on the cards to show the kids, and a lot of information on the tip sheet. So if you haven't had a chance, read the tip sheet, because there's a lot of information on both. So on to the second project. What we're going to be doing for the the 4th through 6th graders is a kinetic, I'm forgetting what the term is, but almost like a mobile. And here's a little sample of what it looks like. So what they have to do is they have to focus on trying to make their balance points, and then focus on centering their top bar depending on those. A lot of Calder's work, if you look at it when it spins around, everything moves simultaneously, but nothing touches each other. It just keeps rolling around. So to do that, you're going to give everybody 3 of these silver pieces of metal. They're already on the cart, already cut into 6-inch strips. It's kind of hard to see, but it's pretty small. But what they're going to do is they're going to get 3 thick ones, and then they're going to get 3 thinner ones, which are this red cable right here, or there's black and gold as well, which we want it to be a little thinner. So from there, the kids, there's also going to be some pliers on the cart to make it a little bit easier. First thing that I did when we were doing the samples is you want to fold this almost at half to create, and you can even do this last, because they actually recommend starting from the top to the bottom, but you want to have something to hang your point on. And then from there, you start at the bottom, and then you can twist your metal, you can cut it, you can do anything you want with it. And then as you'll see on this mobile here, the colors. We have green, we have circles, we have triangles. So what we did is we got these small adhesive shapes. There's circles, there's squares, there's triangles, and they're very soft and foam. They don't weigh a lot. You peel off the back and it's going to be the same color as the front. And what you do is you want to form an L. When you decide where you want to put them on, if you make an L shape, when you put the twist on, you can easily stick the shapes right to it, and that will help them keep in place. So you're going to want to put an adhesive strip on the front, and then you want to put an adhesive one on the back, and there you have your end point there. So again, if you take a look at the the mobile itself, you can do, some of the kids will do 2 different sides, some will do 1 side, and then from there you have to figure out how to weight it, because now, like, if you look here, there's a larger shape and then 2 smaller shapes kind of holding it to keep it balanced. So sometimes you want it to be at the end. The kids are going to have to figure this out on their own, how they want it to actually look. You can do as many tiers as they can come up with, but you got to make sure it balances. There's also some Christmas tree hooks in a bag on the cart that you can use to put on the top here so you can see your work in motion. So if you look, it balances nicely, it moves around. Oops, sorry, off the screen. And nothing touches each other. It just kind of moves simultaneously around. So from there, again, you're going to want to read the tip sheet because there's little ideas. There's going to be a bunch of different like pliers on the cart to allow you to bend the metal. Most of the kids will be able to bend, like when you have your stretch part across, you can bend a pretty small hook. Even my big sausage length fingers can create a hook at the end for your project to dangle from, and then from there you can twist it to lock it in so it doesn't move. Again, the wire is very thin. They can cut it with their scissors. They can, if they don't want it to be this long, they can shorten it. So the tip sheet will tell you how many thick pieces and thin pieces they hand out. Some are going to use all of it, some aren't. But from there, give them a couple of the shapes. Again, they're small, they're self-adhesive. You just peel off the back and stick them on. And if you use that L shape, like I mentioned, it will help keep it so it doesn't move. I've spun this around a bunch of times. It's been in a box, in a folder, and it still nicely spins around once you put it back into its shape. So everything, it's very easy to bend, but at the same time, once you have it where you want, it also stays very nicely. So watch the tip sheet. Read the tip sheet. Everything is on the cart. Very little supplies. The wires are very thin. If you find we're running low on something, just send me a message. We'll make sure we get it filled up. The other thing is the blurbs. Since you can't really put a blurb on here, we're going to just ask that you give them to the teachers so that they can go in the Tuesday folder with the project, or you can give them to the kids and they can tape it to it or anything like that, just so the parents know what we're working on and what we're doing. So again, here is what the first sample looks like. This is going to be grades K through 3. And here is the second sample, which is going to be grades 4 through 6. All the kids that made them in the test seemed to really enjoy it. It was kind of interesting. They had to think a little bit. The balance point, you're going to end up, depending on what shapes that they use, you're going to end up, this side's going to be tilted a little bit, so you have to figure out where to pull it down to kind of make the balance. Because sometimes it's going to be shorter than the other side. Sometimes it's going to go this way, or sometimes it's going to go this way. You just want to figure it out, and you can test it by holding it up once you have your attachment on it. And like I said, if you read the tip sheet, he really broke down very nicely how to do the project, starting from the bottom up. And if there's any questions, just let me know. I hope everybody enjoys it. If you have any questions, the PowerPoint and everything is out there right now. There is a video in the slideshow for both grades. And Jeff also included some diagrams that you can leave up at the end to kind of give some idea of how to balance and how to use different sides of the thing to make the mobile even, but at the same time do what you want it to do. So you can go out to desartnews.org. If you click on downloads, the password is Be Creative. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email at this address. Good luck, everybody. I hope you enjoy it.